Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the Nathan's Numbers YouTube channel. Today we're going to be taking a quick recap look at the order of operations, which is also known as BIDMAS. So BIDMAS is the acronym that represents the order of operations and sort of how it all works. So when you write out this acronym, these letters obviously stand for different things. So the B stands for brackets, I stands for indices, D stands for division, M for multiplication, A for addition, and S for subtraction. Now, just for now, I'm just going to group some of these together. So the D and M I'm going to group together, and then I'm going to group the A and S together. Not very well, but try my best. And I'm just going to lasso this and make it just a tad bit smaller, so I've got some room to work with. So pop that over there. So what this means is you're working in a sort of going down arrow. So when you've got an equation, let's say you've got 3 plus 5 squared plus 2 times 4, right? You need to look at which part of the equation you would do first in order to get the right answer. So, do we have brackets? Well, yes we do, we have got brackets. That means we have to do what's inside the bracket first. Very important that you do that instead of just going left to right. In this case, we have got it, so it's the first thing you would do because you're going left to right. But either way, if the bracket was over here and I had 3 plus 5 over here squared, then that's where I'd put it. So if we rewrite that, 3 plus 5 is obviously 8 squared plus 2 times 4. Now, do we have indices? Now, if you're confused as to what indices is, it's this little number here. So let's say I've got 2 squared. This little squared here is your indices, okay? Very important that you know that. Doesn't matter what number's up there. If we've got 2 to the power of 3, 4 to the power of 2, 5 to the power of 623, they are all indices. It's very important that you know that they are indices so you can do this BIDMAS well. So we've got BIDMAS. So 8 squared is what that means. So that means 8 times 8. So 8 squared equals 8 times 8. And 8 times 8 equals 64. So we now know that that's 64, but we can get rid of these brackets now because we've dealt with what's inside the bracket and what's outside of the bracket. So we've got 64 plus 2 times 4. Now, if you were just working left to right normally, you'd get this answer very wrong because you'd do 64, add 2 times by 4, but that'd be wrong. You have to do the 2 times the 4 and add it on to 64. So 2 times 4, you can draw brackets around it if you want it to make it easier for you, but just know that you've got to do the multiplication first before the addition. So 2 times 4 is 8, so you've got 64, add 8, so your answer is going to be 72. And that's how you get that answer. If you did add 2 and then times by 4, you'd have 66 times 4, which would give you a very different answer than 72. So there's your example of how BIDMAS works. Now, the reason why I grouped multiplication and division and addition and subtraction together is because that doesn't matter what order you do it in. If I have got, because you'll notice that the D is higher than the M, so you might think that you do the division before the multiplication. So let's say I've got 7 times 3 divided by 2, right? So if you would strictly adhere to this, you do division, then your multiplication. So you do 7 times 3 divided by 2, which is, I'm just going to write this 3 over 2, but 1.5. You don't need to do that. If you've got these two together, you can just do it from the left to right order. So you do 7 times 3, which is 21, divided by 2. Okay? And the same works with addition and subtraction. So if I have got 7 minus 2, add 4, since addition's higher, that doesn't mean that you do the minus 2, because that is a minus 2, add the 4. It just means since they're on the same, so they're grouped together, you do 7 minus 2, add 4, so you do 7 minus 2, which is 5, add 4, which is 9. Okay? So those two are grouped together. Don't let this confuse you though. Don't let this make you think that that means that brackets and indices are together, because they are not. These are not grouped together. It's simply division and multiplication. So division and addition and subtraction. Okay, if you have these two, go left to right. All right, on these two together. If you have division and addition, so let's say you've got 7 add 4 divided by 2, you do the division first because that isn't part of the same group and it's higher up. Okay, so hopefully that was a good recap of BIDMAS and order of operations. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching.